Welcome into the Slobberknocker Sports Podcast, episode 83. We got busy stuff going on around the offices over here, but we're here for you guys because we know you need us. We know you can't live without this show.
That's right.
That's right. I got my Zito's Serious sandwich in me today, so I'm good to go. I was a little tired. Shout out Dutch Bros. I went and got a Dutch Bros coffee, double espresso. It said it had 6 shots of espresso in it, so I may be a little bit wired right now. But
good Lord.
We're good to go, baby. I don't normally drink that.
I'd die if I had 6 shots of espresso.
I don't know how
I'd go down.
How I'm going right now, but I am. We're ready to go. We got some good stuff to talk about. All the second-round series in the NBA have wrapped up. All the second-round series in the NHL have wrapped up.
And more importantly, obviously, the WNBA is back, and we are a WNBA show.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
That's who we are. That's our identity.
Damn straight.
WNBA. College football, WNBA.
We started off as a WNBA show, and we always come back to it.
That's right.
That's our roots. We're a grassroots WNBA show through and through. And Caitlin Clark played her first game, and let's start right there. We're going to talk a lot of stuff, but we got to start with the best thing I saw this week, and it was obviously CC getting her 3rd career triple-double. So I'll roll the highlights here as we're talking.
Watch out now.
Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, who, by the way, are the 3rd favorite to win the WNBA championship right now, opening odds. Caitlin Clark, favorite to win the WNBA MVP. I gave a bold prediction that she would. I didn't know she was the favorite. Regardless.
So it's not very bold.
No, but it was bold at the time because I didn't know that she was the favorite. Now, CC got off to a good start. You're going to see her hit a deep logo 3 right here. 5 quick points early. She finished with 20 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and she really should have had 18 assists, but there were so many missed layups, just like that one from Angel Reese right there.
She was fouled.
She was an elite layup misser. She had a typical Angel game, as Caitlin drops another dime there. Typical Angel game was 17 rebounds, a meaningless double-double, and a 35-point loss, and she got 8 rebounds off her own misses, had 7 layup misses. So, perfect game from Angel. Caitlin was balling in this game. Now, interestingly enough, Caitlin... Well, the Fever end up winning this game by 30-plus points. Chicago's fucking horrible. I actually don't know if Indiana's as good as they looked because this Chicago Sky team is disgustingly bad. But we'll just
disgusting.
No, they're horrible. We'll just let the Caitlin Clark highlights roll right now. But man, I will say,
the one thing I can count on is not getting copyright infringement for showing WNBA shit.
Swear to you, that was in my notes. I was gonna say the same thing.
Might as well just play the whole game, because no one's gonna do anything to us. Although these days, who knows?
Yeah, maybe if it's only Caitlin Clark highlights, they actually do copyright it. But she was balling. I mean, look, there was about 8 of those right there where she just dropped a dime and then the girl just smoked the list.
Smoked that layup?
Oh, dude, that happened all game long, both ways. It was ugly.
Oh my gosh, Kobe.
She is Kobe.
White Kobe.
No, honestly, she is the white Kobe, and I would say honestly, the rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese is like if Kobe Bryant had a rivalry with Marcin Gortat. That's the equivalent.
You saw that online.
I did see that online.
I saw that online, too.
It was really good. I was going to pawn it off as my own, but you saw it. Damn it.
It was pretty funny.
It was really good. I forgot. I can't remember, so I can't give credit for it, but somebody said that, and it was a great analogy. It definitely is accurate. But, yeah, so CC actually needed one more rebound here in the 4th quarter.
Yep.
And Dave Portnoy was courtside in a full Fever Caitlin Clark uniform. Not just the jersey. He had the shorts on and everything.
Oh, there he is. You see it right there with his girlfriend.
And look right there.
He's like, grab it.
And she got it. And look at Dave right there on the bottom. He's going nuts because he just won $350,000 on that. And by the way, I think Caitlin knew that Dave had the bet because she was out of the game when they were up 30, and she walked up to her coach, their new coach, and said,
hey,
I want to go back in and get my triple-double. And she never does that. And so she went back in and got it, her 3rd triple-double in her career over a year and 1 game, which is the most all-time in that short of a span. But Indiana goes on to win. But I wanted to show one thing right here.
How'd what's-her-face play Tits McGee, the one that's in...
That doesn't help me.
The new... Tits McGee's a bad...
Paige Beckers?
No, dude. Doesn't Haley... The one that
Haley Van Lith.
There you go. That was in Sports Illustrated.
This is how stupid the WNBA is. They have a new coach, the Sky do. I don't know who he is. Some guy. He's horrible. They were down 30 in the third quarter. She didn't come in until there was 4 minutes left in the game. She didn't play a single meaningful minute. Not that the game was close that much. Really weird. Then she comes in and scores 4 points in like 2 minutes. And she actually looked pretty good. So a few more minutes because the guards for Chicago are atrocious. So you would think she would earn a few minutes here going forward. But
I would hope so.
You would think
I would
so.
hope the sky come around.
You would think so. She's quite the talent. I like Haley Van Lith. I hope she does well in the WNBA. I don't know why the Sky drafted her after she played with Angel in college and it was a disaster. So I'm surprised that they drafted her. Regardless, I want to show one thing because this is I don't know if you saw the spat. If you were on social media, you must have. But we had this play. This was in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, where Angel Reese is under the basket, and you're going to see this missed shot. Angel's going to shove Natasha Howard in the back. There's no call, so Caitlin's going to take a foul here, and Angel's going to take exception to it like she's some...
That was a crazy flop.
It was a horrible flop.
Yeah.
She wanted to make it look worse. All Caitlin did was go for the ball and commit a hard foul, which everybody agreed. And they actually ended up upgrading this to a flagrant one, which is ridiculous. And you'll see the replay. It was clearly not a flagrant.
There she goes. She's throwing up the gang sign. She's coming after.
What is she
Our old
doing?
WNBA.
She's
got the blood gang signs
Look at that.
going.
She just flails her arms up. How is that? Look at this. How is this a flagrant foul?
And she thinks she's tough. I mean, my God.
And she gets up like she's going to fight her. Well, nobody stopped her initially.
Yeah.
And then they gave a tech to Aaliyah Boston for trying to prevent a fight there. I don't know why.
Aaliyah Boston, big country.
Big country.
Patrolling the paint.
How dare you insult big country from Iowa State, our girl like that. She's way better than Aaliyah Boston.
For big country to get to the WNBA.
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully she's a Caitlin Clark teammate. That would be electric.
I told you for your birthday next year, for Christmas, because it comes sooner, although they're pretty close, I'm going to get you a big country jersey. And it's not going to say her actual name. It's going to say big country.
I can promise you I will not wear it, but we can hang it in the studio.
No, you will absolutely wear it on the show. The first time I get it for you, you absolutely will wear it.
Well, depending on who it would be pretty funny. But WNBA.
Yeah, of
jersey.
course. We'll play WNBA
Actually,
or not
it should be
in
Iowa
honor
State.
of it.
Yep.
But I will say I more than enjoyed watching that game, and I did start off with I'm a WNBA guru when it comes to betting on WNBA. I'm better at WNBA than any other sport. I'm pretty good at other sports, but my goodness, I started off, I hit a three-teamer.
I know you are, but don't admit that. You're good at other sports. Just stick with that.
I love
Don't say I'm better than WNBA.
I will say, my dad and I were talking in the car the other day on the way back from Madrid, and my dad goes, I'm not going to watch the NBA games intently because I got to start winding down and preparing myself for the summer when there's no sports. And I said, what are you talking about? There's WNBA. And I was dead serious. And he goes, I don't watch that shit. And I go, I sure as shit do.
Amen, brother.
I was ready for it.
That's why I like Big Dog, because he keeps it real.
He keeps it real. Okay, and since we're on WNBA topic, let's just go ahead and do WNBA or not right now. It's a good segue. So I'm preparing to dominate today. I did prepare a good one here. You did win last time after I got you the time before. So we're kind of on a back and forth stretch here. I'm going to hopefully get you today.
It's time to play WNBA or not.
All right. Here we go. It's time to play WNBA or not. Back by popular demand. Number 1, WNBA.
I think that's fucking Cardi B. It's Cardi B or Cardi B drag queen.
I can tell you right now that's not Cardi B.
It's not?
No.
Are you serious?
I'm 100%
Bailey, turn around. Does that not look just like Cardi B?
Yeah, it's kind of turned. I don't know if you can see it.
That looks like Cardi B. First glance. And let me tell you folks something. If anybody knows black female rappers, it's Bailey. No one knows black female rappers like our producer Bailey. All right, he's from Memphis. This is what they do at those all-boy Catholic schools in Memphis. They sit around a lunch table and talk shop. Black strippers. Or sorry, not strippers. Black rappers.
Same
thing. Cardi B looked like, you say it's not Cardi B. I'm just going to say not a WNBA player.
That's tough because the fact that you got this one is going to make it a tough start. That is not a WNBA player.
It's not Cardi B, though. I was looking for bonus points.
That would have been good. No, this is Tiffany Pollard, reality TV star.
Okay.
All right, so you're one for one.
Cardi B's sister.
No, yeah, basically. They're all sisters.
I mean, I might get called racist for that. That looked like Cardi B to me. I don't know.
I honestly don't know what Cardi B looks like. I just knew that I did not put Cardi B.
Dude, I'm not going to overthink this. This is a WNBA player.
I knew when you got the first one.
Whoopi Goldberg was 6'7". This would be her right here. A young Whoopi.
I knew
That's a
right when I got
yep.
the first
Crystal
one, I was in
Bradford,
trouble. Crystal Bradford, Las
Yep.
Vegas Aces. Okay.
Yep.
Number 3, bad start here. Number 3.
You got to mix in a white? No, this is a
WNBA
tricky
or
one.
not?
Zoom in.
This one, I don't know. I actually forgot.
Zoom in.
Did I-
Holding a Red Bull. There's no WNBA Red Bull athletes. Give me not a WNBA
You got to
player.
be shitting me. Look at her hands, dude.
I know there's some big old hands. She does something else, but Red Bull
That's
doesn't sponsor.
fucking how did
Red
that-
Bull doesn't sponsor WNBA, bro.
That's fucking wild. That is not a WNBA player.
Told
That's
you.
Layla Edwards. I mean,
They want nothing to do with the WNBA. They're a smart company.
this is
That's
rough.
3 for 3,
This
baby.
is rough, man. Ugh. All right, number 4, WNBA player. Now, there's your white girl for you.
Yeah,
Mixed her
this is a WNBA player.
Oh my god, I think he's right.
This is a WNBA with their dog.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to be devastated if you go 5 for 5.
Go
here.
5 for
I
5.
hope, please
I told
miss
you I
this
was
one.
feeling it.
Please miss this one. WNBA player or not?
No, that woman's like 48 years old. That's not a WNBA player.
Yes, he didn't go perfect.
Oh, that's a WNBA player?
Yes, that is. That is
active?
Rhea Hartley, Connecticut
How
Sun.
old is she? 48?
Let me look it up.
Hey, no offense, Bria.
Well, all you
I mean,
do is
Bria
offend
looks-
people on the
Bria
show.
looks older.
She is 32. 32 plays with the
32
Connecticut
going
Sun.
on 57. All right. 4 out of 5. Not
She's
too
a
bad.
French-American player. She plays for the Connecticut
Sure.
Sun.
She lied about her age. She's 40 plus.
That's a Bismarck Biombo one right
Yeah.
there. I am 17.
One of the greatest. That was the greatest scouting report I've ever read. Like, says he's 19. We know he's not.
But
we
we don't
think
know
it's
exactly
like, yeah,
how
no,
old.
it's like, no, he says he's 19. We know he's not. But it's not that big of a deal because we're 90% sure he's 21 or 22.
And it
It was
turns
a
out he was
scout.
26.
Yeah, it was something just nuts. Hung around for a long time, too.
He was on the Spurs this year.
Yeah, I don't get how, and I never thought he was any good, but he hung around a long time.
Yeah, I mean, just yes.
And
if you're
remember,
big and
folks,
athletic.
if you have questions about the female rap game, reach out to our producer, Bailey.
We'll put his contact
Yep.
info below.
Mhm.
He's shaking his head. Don't worry, Bailey.
He
I'll
does
put the actual
know-
contact.
No one knows female rappers
Now,
like Bailey.
no, they don't. Now, I
His
want to
favorite is Sexy Red, is what I hear.
wait. Who is that? I don't know. Who
I
that
don't
is.
even know. I just know the name.
What's
Oh,
this?
you remember the one that was at the Super Bowl? It's like SZA, and he's
SZA.
like, SZA was at the Super Bowl. I go, who the fuck are you talking about? And he showed me the spelling, and I was like, oh yeah, I had no idea that was SZA. I don't know how you get SCA out of SZA. Well, that was
find it.
another good segment of WNBA or not.
Yeah, good job. 4 for 5. Congrats on winning there.
Thank
I'm
you,
proud
thank
of you.
you, thank
Okay, let's go. We'll talk a little bit of actual sports here. Not that the WNBA isn't, but we'll go into
Your
some,
words, not mine.
Yeah, let's go into some sports. Let's talk quickly. We'll run through. We're not going to be a long show today, but we'll run through some some actual NBA. So we had Thunder Nuggets game 7 yesterday.
Mhm.
Wasn't much of a game. I thought the Nuggets were going to put up a better fight, given that they had so many guys with experience. That said, we know going into the game, Aaron Gordon was dealing with a hamstring injury. He's a big piece of what they do. He did give it a go, and to his credit, he is an absolute warrior because he went out there on one leg. He was clearly hobbled, and he was so smart about it. He was jumping off the non-injured leg, and he's a left foot jumper, which is the hamstring he injured. He would drive by somebody and jump off the right leg, even though it was completely awkward. And he actually played better than most of the rest of the Nuggets. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. was horrible. Jamal Murray was horrific in Game 7. Jokic really struggled, had a number of turnovers. He only took 9 shots in the game. The box score was real ugly for Denver. The Thunder, to their credit, early in the game, it really felt like, there was all talk during the last couple days of, okay, you have the Nuggets, who are clearly the inferior team with less depth, but they have Jokic, who's the best player on the planet, and they have 29 guys or 29 Game 7 experiences on the floor, and I believe the Thunder had 2 guys who had ever played in a Game 7, and it was 1. So it was kind of this, like, talent, youth versus experience, age, like, who's going to win out. And early on, Denver started the game up 21-10. They actually had 2 free throws. It was Peyton Watson, who is the worst free throw shooter I've ever seen. He missed 2 free throws to put him up 13 with like 6 minutes to go in the first. And in that stretch, I think OKC started something like 4 for 23 from the field. Denver had a lot of opportunities to make that lead 20. And had they done that, it would have been really interesting to see what would have happened. And jump in whenever you want here. But to me, quickly after that, the Thunder go on a run because of what they are. They have so much depth. They take, Jalen Williams out, who's an all-star, and Alex Caruso comes in, who's been playing phenomenal, even though I don't really like him. They had Wiggins off the bench was hitting threes. They have a young guy in Cason Wallace who's been phenomenal.
Yeah, they're just the most right. We talk about the most complete team by far.
Right.
I mean, but we talked about it, I guess, last week and I think most people agree. You probably would agree, or say it was 50-50 at best for OKC. If that game was like tied late in the fourth quarter, you would have thought that the Nuggets would have found a way
Absolutely.
to win. Just because of the championship pedigree, been there before. And then, obviously, with that start, you thought that was kind of the direction the game was going for a very close game. And the Thunder just broke it open in the second quarter and never had that pressure, right? They're just riding the momentum of the crowd. They're not having to come back in the game. And as soon as they went up, more than 10 points, I thought it was going to get out of hand. Like at halftime, I think it was, 14?
It was
or 16?
60 to 46
at
halftime.
At that point, I just thought it was over. I just thought they were going to ride the momentum. I didn't think the Nuggets were going to have a run in them at that point. I think if they keep that close, single digits, the whole way, they could. And that's obviously...
That's how the whole series went. The close games went the way of the Nuggets, and the Thunder, when they won by a wide margin.
Yep.
And so that was kind of exactly what I think we both kind of thought was if the Nuggets can hang around, and that's what Dave Adelman said, like, our goal in every game is be there with 5 minutes to go.
Right.
At that point, we have a legitimate shot, maybe a better shot than they do of winning the game. And that played out in this series. But literally, the stretch of the game that flipped everything was, there was two, in my opinion. The end of the first quarter, the start of the second quarter, the Nuggets were still up 5 going to the second. It was 26-21, and Dave Adelman, who I thought did a pretty good job in the run, made a huge mistake. It's a game 7. Your analytics say that you're the best offense in the history of the NBA with Nikola Jokic on the floor, efficiency-wise, and you're the worst offense in the league when he's off the floor. They don't just take him out. They take Jamal Murray out. They had 4 of their 5 starters on the bench start the second quarter,
right.
And the Thunder go on a huge run and go from down 5. I think it was an 8-0 run like in a minute and a half. And it was like, oh my God, like they already had blown the lead where they were up, but they still had a little bit of momentum, and now it was dead. Now they were playing from behind. It was still, though, back and forth a lot of the second. And with 3:11 to go, Jamal Murray hits a jump shot to make it 42-41. The Thunder take a timeout. And from that point forward, the Thunder then outscored them 18-4 or 18-3 the rest of the half. Or 18-5 to have a 14-point lead at halftime. And they blew them out in the second half. It was never a game. I do want to touch on a few other points here, and we'll move on. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but I think going forward for the Nuggets, this is where I want to go because we'll dive into the preview of the other series here in a second.
Yeah.
Going forward for the Nuggets, they have a lot of decisions to make. Number one, are they going to keep Dave Adelman as their head coach? Sure seems like they are. And he didn't do a bad job. Still don't like that they fired Mike Malone with 4 games to go. Still think that was a mistake. But they got through the Clippers. They won a Game 7. They took the number 1 seed to a Game 7. I think the large majority of people thought this series was a 5-game series talent-wise, and they got to a Game 7 with the Thunder, who are an overwhelming favorite still. They're minus 175 with 4 teams left to win the championship right now. Regardless, Nikola Jokic looked burnt out in that game. He really did. And you brought up this point when we talked last time. You said that it looked like Nikola was having to do too much, not even just on the floor, but he's being vocal in timeouts. He's having to coach almost.
Which he never used to do.
Never talked, right?
No.
Very, very quiet guy, except with the officials. That played a role. He looked exhausted. And the Thunder actually were smart. They played him this way a lot of the series, and it worked, even though I thought it was weird at first. They would throw like a smaller defender like Alex Caruso on him, put a lot of ball pressure on him on his entry pass, meaning he had then to work. He wasn't going to shoot a jump shot. He would work to back them down low, and then they'd bring doubles from different areas, so he didn't know where it was coming. He couldn't just turn and score on 2 people, and he wasn't able to just, when the double comes immediately at him, he can just dissect and make a good pass. So after 7 cumulative games of that, and having to play 38, 39, 40 minutes a game, because every time he goes out, the opponent, Thunder going an 8-0 run, it was just too much. He didn't come out for any stretch after he went back in. And then I will say one last thing, and I don't really want to touch on the officiating because I do like how it's been called in the playoffs for the most part. This round got a little bit more touchy. I felt like it was called a little less tight. And then in game 7, it went back to being more physicality allowed, and the Thunder were the more physical team, and to their credit, they deserved to win this game. They completely dominated, but I will say this. It did feel like there were 2 open hands on Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray the entire game, but if you touch Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it was a foul every time. That's what it felt like, and so it's really tough.
He shoots a lot of free throws.
He does.
He's the modern-day James Harden.
He is the modern-day James Harden. I like him better than James Harden because he at least is...
Oh, God, no.
Well, he at least plays defense.
Monster.
Well, he plays defense and plays hard,
please.
and he's not a douchebag like James Harden. But last thing I'll say, and jump in here, and I'm curious your opinion. I have said for 2 years, I think Michael Porter Jr. needs to be moved. That was a terrible contract. They gave him $37 million a year. He is their 4th best player. You can't be paying your 4th best player $37 million a year.
The thing is, I mean, I agree with you, but he'll go make that, if not more, somewhere else. The NBA is just out of control. 6
points in game 7, 3 of 8 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3. I mean, just one of the worst defenders in the NBA. And if you're not giving anything offensively, the thing about it is when Aaron Gordon used to not be really a floor spacer and he couldn't really shoot, they needed him as a wing floor spacer. But now that Aaron Gordon is a 40+% three-point shooter, you might as well go get a defensive guy at that spot. He had one game in this series where he was really good. He had like 5 of 6 threes. Besides that, he was terrible the whole series. He's a negative on the defensive end. So I think the Nuggets offseason needs to center around 2 things. Number 1 is you have to move him. Somehow, some way, you've got to move him. They got to dump that contract. They'll be able to find somebody like the Wizards who need a guy to sell tickets, right? He's a Jordan Poole type guy is who he reminds me of.
I wouldn't watch either one of those guys.
No, I wouldn't either. But number 2, I think they should move on from Jamal Murray. I have said this for a while. I think he's overrated. I think he disappears in big games. There's this notion that he's really good in game 7s. That was like in that one run where he was really good. But I just think he's been a large disappointment before the title run and after. There was that one year where he was great. To me, get rid of Porter, get rid of Murray. You'll be able to get some assets for Murray because people like him.
Yeah.
Go get younger, build around Nikola, try to win one more championship with Jokic over the next 3. It might not be next year. They may have to eat next year. But
yeah, get younger, try to win with Jokic, and then when Jokic is gone, at least you have a young core instead of just getting a bunch of old guys and screwing your franchise.
Exactly.
Because the Nuggets, no matter who they go get, minus, like Giannis and Jokic playing together, they're still not going to be favored against the Thunder by any stretch. So
no. And I mean, and then you look like just in terms of contract, the new apron that's coming up, it's going to be hard to even keep Michael Porter Jr. and Murray anyway if they wanted to. Like the Thunder are going to have to start paying these guys soon, right? Like it's going to be hard for teams to repeat and for dynasty to be made. Look at the Celtics. They're already going to have to probably lose Drew Holiday this year. Right. It's going to be hard to keep Tatum and Brown together. It's just Porzingis. Like all these teams, Dawson wins 1 championship and within 1 year they're out in the second round. Right. Now, I know Tatum got injured, but I think they were going to lose that series anyway. Let's go into previewing the other 2 series real quick. Let's start with Thunder T-Wolves. You mentioned it to me when we were talking last week. You think you said last week at least, you thought the T-Wolves would beat the Thunder if the Thunder came out of the series. Are you sticking to that?
Yeah, I'll stick with it.
Okay.
I mean, obviously Thunder a better team, but T-Wolves have been there before. I'm going to say 7-game series and the T-Wolves win 7.
So you think it's a 7-game series?
Yeah, I mean, I think either way it goes 7 games. I think it's going to be a long series. No, listen, the Thunder are a better team, and maybe they've figured it out. But, the Western Conference Finals, a lot of pressure. Anthony Edwards has already been there. He doesn't feel pressure. 15 kids with 12 different women. You don't feel pressure. That's pressure. Basketball is just a game, okay?
That's a good point.
Yep.
That's real life shit right there.
That's, yeah. I play a child's game, but off the court, okay?
I have a lot of children.
Yeah, it's also the child.
It's actually both children.
Yes. A
lot of children, either way.
Lots of children. But either way, I think T-Wolves, I'll go out on a limb and say T-Wolves in 7.
What do you think, and I gave you kind of an idea telling you that the Thunder were minus 175. What do you think this series price is? I know I'm looking at it right now.
I bet the T-Wolves are 2.5 to 1.
Yeah, plus 265.
Okay.
Thunder are minus 330. So they're a pretty big favorite. But look, the Thunder just went 7 with the with the Denver Nuggets, and nobody thought that was going to go past 5. You know, the T-Wolves, like you said, probably, I mean, people might disagree. I would say have the best player on the floor at any given time. I think Anthony Edwards is the best player on the floor in that series. Maybe you could argue that Shea is better.
It really does depend too. We always talk about how it's officiated. If they let Anthony Edwards be physical with him and don't let Shea shoot 30 free throws a night, then I think the T-Wolves have like a real chance.
Yeah.
If he's shooting 20 free throws, it's going to be tough.
Yep.
I don't necessarily think the NBA has a big dog in this fight either way. Like, I think they would be happy with Anthony Edwards in the finals or Oklahoma City, as long as they get the Knicks there. They don't care.
So what do you think
they want the Knicks there?
I was going to ask you that. No, I completely agree. What do you think ideally Knicks versus who would be if they had their choice?
Probably Knicks Thunder. Just
really?
Because the reason I say that is obviously you have the Dante DiVincenzo effect, him going over there in that storyline,
sure,
whatever. But I just don't think your average fan necessarily cares about that as much. And like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's going to win the MVP, right? And then and the Thunder have been the best team in basketball all year versus the biggest market there is.
Yep.
So I think but I don't think they care either way as long as the Knicks get there. The Thunder, I mean, the T-Wolves, I mean, they're basically the same as far as coming out of the Western Conference, in my opinion. I don't think ratings wise it'll matter much either way.
I think you're
Minnesota to Oklahoma City's not. I mean,
no,
it's like,
no, I don't think it's a big. I think you're flipping a coin. They don't really care. I would lean slightly to the T-Wolves only because I think I don't think it matters at all, but maybe I'm just thinking the Anthony Edwards versus the New York Knicks might be the best marketing.
I think, when you say it that way, it probably is just because Anthony Edwards, like your casuals like me just find him, fascinating.
Yeah, I do too. I love him.
I mean, Oklahoma City's probably your basketball fans, I guess, are going to be watching anyway. So to get your casuals in there, Anthony Edwards saying crazy shit and all that.
Great.
So yeah.
I'm going to say I've been on the Thunder from the start. Not that that's a bold prediction. They've been the favorite. Although a lot of people, because I picked them back a couple months ago, and a lot of people still thought the Celtics were probably going to win.
Right.
I did not believe in the Celtics this year, but I will say I'm going to stick with the Thunder. I do agree with you. I told you this last week when we talked on the show. I was very disappointed in how the Thunder played in this Nuggets series. Now, credit to them coming out Game 7, winning the way that they did in dominating fashion. They basically, they did as good of a job on Nikola Jokic defensively as any team has in a playoff series in his career, in my opinion. He had 2 games that he literally carried them to a win. Game 1, he had 40 plus. In Game 6, he had 40 plus. The other 5 games, if you look at it, he was not very good. He was inefficient. He did not score where he normally does. He was sub 20 points per game. He really had to get to the free throw line to get to his numbers, close to them. So I credit to them. Defensively, they are very, very good. I just think they're still young. They're still learning. And Dagnall's a good coach, Dagnall, however you say it. But I do think this is going to be a tight series. I agree with you. I just think the Thunder are going to have a little bit too much depth-wise. And I think, even though I think the T-Wolves Knicks might be the best for the NBA, it feels like the Thunder have gotten the benefit of the whistle the whole season. I have a hard time believing that switches here. So I'm going to say Thunder in 7, and I think it's a relatively close Game 7. By the way, I know you probably didn't watch halftime because I usually turn halftime off during the ESPN broadcast because it's such a bad halftime show when it's not TNT.
I don't.
But Kendrick Perkins, I swear to you, had a bet with somebody like KG or something that he could not work. Like, he bet that he could work Newport shorts into a segment. Like, he could mention the cigarettes, Newport shorts, because he said he had this quote at halftime that made no sense. It made absolutely zero sense.
Did you see Paul Pierce having to walk to the studio?
No.
You didn't see that? Yeah, I'll have to look it up and put maybe just like a clip of the video. He said that it was basically a bet your baby Game 2 bet, and that before the game, and if the Celtics lost Game 2 to the Knicks, he would walk in his robe and slippers to work tomorrow, and it was 8 miles, and then he was like, oops, this is going to be, or I don't know if it was like that long, but it was like over 4, I think, for sure. And he goes, well, tomorrow's going to suck, but he did it, dude. He woke up and he was wearing the robe and people were like pointing at him on the street and
No
like
way.
KG was following him some of the way. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
he walked into
hilarious.
the studio.
Where does he work? Where does he
I
work
don't know.
now?
I guess ESPN. I mean, I don't
I think
know.
he got fired from ESPN.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's Fox Sports. Who knows? Anyway,
Could be.
that's funny. That's hilarious. I'm surprised. He seems like
Yeah,
the type
let's
of guy
see.
who would say he would do that and then actually like back out of it.
Yeah.
So good for him for sticking to his guns and paying off the bet. Yeah, we'll move on from this series. As you look that up, we'll go over to the Eastern Conference. We've got a rematch of the second round from last year's playoffs. Knicks Pacers, a great series last year. The Knicks won the first 2 games of the series. The Pacers battled back. It ended up eventually going to a game 7 in Madison Square Garden. And the Knicks were so banged up. They had injury after injury. I believe at one point in the series, they were down to 7 guys. I mean, and I said this last time, Alec Burks, who hadn't played since, January, was starting for them at one point in the
Balling out
playoffs.
there.
Yeah, he actually played pretty well. Regardless, then in game 2, I think it was game 2, it was game 1 or 2, after all those injuries, OG Anunoby, who was phenomenal for them in that playoff run, pulled his hamstring. He tried to give it a go in game 7, went about a quarter, clearly wasn't himself, and got pulled. So they were literally down to 6 guys, basically almost playing 5.
Right.
And the Knicks just ran out of gas. I don't think that's going to happen this year. I think the Pacers have been the beneficiaries of injuries in every series. I don't think that's what's happened. I don't think the Knicks are not as nearly as banged up this year. Barring injury, the Knicks win this series in 6 or 7, in my opinion. The Pacers are a good team. Would it shock me if they won this series? No, because the Knicks are not some juggernaut. But I do believe the NBA very much wants the Knicks in the finals. I have a feeling we're going to see.
If there's ever a preference on who's going to the NBA Finals between the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers, I mean, I would be. They would shocked if the Knicks aren't getting more whistles.
I would say, and I don't think this is crazy, roughly $100 million difference between the two and who goes to the
no
to the
idea,
finals.
but it's a shit ton.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah,
There's going to be a big difference in revenue, in ad revenue, in ratings for the NBA Finals if it's the Pacers versus the Knicks. The Knicks would be incredible. You would also just get, in addition to just the New York market, a lot of people who have watched the NBA, old heads who have watched the NBA, who may not watch it anymore, and the Knicks are in the finals. I guarantee you they would watch. If they normally wouldn't, a lot of those guys would watch.
Yeah.
I think it would be a massive ratings
I mean, I
difference.
would watch just because the Knicks were in it.
Right.
Like, if the Pacers are playing the Timberwolves, it's like, yeah, I mean, I'd watch it over your place or checking in, but I wouldn't be like, the game starts at 7, not that kind of thing.
No,
But I'm going to say Knicks in 6.
Knicks in 6?
6.
I'm going to say Knicks. I'm going to say, I was going to say Knicks in 6, actually. I'll say Knicks in 7. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's Knicks in 5 or 6.
I feel like 7's the more likely, but I don't know. I'll say 6.
I actually lean more 6, but just to be different on the show, I'll say 7.
Okay.
I will be in Vegas for 2 of the games. I'm going to be there for games 4 and 5, so that should be fun, especially if it's Knicks. Sorry, for the championship series. Especially if it's Knicks and whoever.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
Is that this
No,
week?
yeah, sorry. June 13th and 16th will be game 4 and 5 of the finals. We have weirdly enough, the Eastern Conference Finals
start before, right?
No, start after.
Oh.
And which is weird because they've both been off for longer and the series just ended.
It's just always set. Like they already have the dates already up. It's like the NBA Finals too, They always have them. The Eastern, Western, and the NBA Finals, they always have them like pre-scheduled.
Correct. So we're shooting this currently afternoon here on a Monday at about 4:30 right now, and so the Western Conference Finals starts tomorrow night at 7:30 Central Time, which is our time, and then the following night will be Wednesday night will be the Eastern Conference Finals. But yeah, I like the Knicks in this series. I'll say this just to talk a little bit deeper on it because we didn't go too far into it. I think the Knicks. I think Jalen Brunson, and Stephen A. kind of talked about this.
Right.
I think Jalen Brunson is a legitimate superstar. He said this today, and I completely agree with him. I think Jalen Brunson is a superstar. I think, talk about stupid, Nico Harrison might be the dumbest man in America, letting that man go for what would have been $16 million a year.
Bro.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think, by the way, I'm beginning to think that it is a conspiracy.
It 100% is a conspiracy. There's no, dude, what's more likely? Them just randomly sending Luka to save the Lakers franchise and getting a 1 to 50 chance randomly, or getting the first pick.
Yeah.
And then look at what the NBA has done in the past. It 100% was. Now, that was above Nico's pay grade, I'm sure.
That's my point.
That's why his
He's
reaction,
the fall guy.
Yeah. His reaction seemed very genuine when they won the first pick. Like, I don't think he necessarily knew, but he got the orders from upstairs like, hey, we don't like the way Luka, and if you want to keep your job, you're going to trade him. And that's what he did. And then they got the first pick. 100% conspiracy. That's what happened. You'll never convince me otherwise. There's most of them where I'm like, yeah, I could see that, this and that, the other. The NBA could rig a lottery so easy. They can do whatever they want.
100%.
No one sees those ping pong balls, and you change numbers. And I know people claim that, they do, and this and that and the other. Like, oh, we saw the ping pong balls come out, and this is the. I'm not buying it, dude.
And they already
cook the books on that.
No, they did. I think they did, and I think they also knew that, the Spurs have Wemby, and at this point, the way the Spurs are going with De'Aaron Fox and Wemby, they want the Spurs to be good too, and they're like, well, while we're at it, we're already giving the Mavs the first pick. We might as well give the Spurs the second, because we had like a 4% chance to get a number 1 pick. We had like a 7% chance to get a top 4 pick. So we move up as well, and then it happens that the 76ers get the 3rd pick, and all those shitty franchises all fall out of the top 3. Very, very suspect. I also do think, the more I think about it, that the Mavs ownership and the Adelmans, talk about very powerful people. With Adam Silver, we're like, how easy is this going to be? Because our general manager is the guy who fucked up the Steph Curry Under Armour deal because he called him Seth Curry and used the Kevin Durant pitch from 3 years prior because he was too lazy to do his own pitch for Steph Curry, which cost them hundreds of millions of dollars, right? He then traded away Jalen Brunson. How easy will this be to explain? He's the stupidest guy in America. We'll just tell him to do it, and he'll fucking do it, and it'll make him look like he's stupid, and everybody will fucking blame him. It's genius. It's fucking genius.
I hate Nico Harrison. I think he's one of the biggest morons in sports. The one thing I will defend him on is showing up to the Steph Curry interview. No one knew how good Steph Curry was going to be. I would have showed up drunk to that interview, so probably called him Seth as well.
To be fair, he was still a top 10 pick, and he called him by the wrong name.
So, he was at Nike, showed up drunk to the meeting, and called him Seth. I probably would have done the same thing.
I don't know
but
if he
I
was
still
drunk,
think
but
he's
allegedly.
the worst.
You still think he's what?
I think he's drunk all the time with the decisions he makes. Bad decisions. And that's honestly giving drunk people a bad name, too, because most drunks wouldn't do that anyway. So, anyway.
But no,
he's horrible.
I do think, though, back to the Knicks real quick. Yeah. I do think Jalen Brunson is a superstar.
Yeah.
And I do think that the Pacers lack a superstar. And if you look at the teams remaining, even though they are all deep and complete teams, they all have a superstar.
Right.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, question mark. Because people in the NBA, the players voted Tyrese Halliburton the most overrated player in the NBA. Now, he's played well in these playoffs. He wasn't good for stretches in the last playoffs. He is never going to be the type of player to be a guy who goes out and gives you 40 like on any given night. He's a guy who's going to get 15 to 25 and 10 assists every night. He's a smart player. He has nights where he shoots it really well and he's hot, and nights where he doesn't shoot it well and he hurts them. So there's nights where Siakam's their best player, right? Like, so to me, the Pacers could win this series. I think they have the lowest, and this is not surprising. Everybody would agree with this. They have the lowest chance to win a championship of any of the teams. I would say they have no chance to win a championship. I think if they somehow get past the Knicks, regardless of who wins in the West, they will lose in the championship. If it's Thunder Pacers, that would be the worst outcome for the NBA, because not only is it two small market teams, but the Thunder would be an overwhelming favorite in that game. That series would almost certainly be 5 or less.
4 or 5.
Yeah. So it's just, to me, the Pacers are the absolute dead worst outcome for the NBA. Luckily for them, I think they're not going to get there.
Yeah, no, without question.
Hopefully the Knicks win it in 5 or 6, but I say 7.
I agree with Brunson being a superstar now as well.
He's phenomenal.
I used to not think that probably like 2 months ago, but like what he's done in the postseason, he is.
It's unreal.
And he's doing it in New York, so it's like, that definitely
yes
goes into it as well.
We're almost done here. We're going to talk quickly some NFL I want to talk about some free agents left.
First of all, why don't we pay a little fucking respect to the Ice Gladiators playing hockey right now? We take this whole fucking show talking about basketball, okay?
Go ahead.
It's the NHL playoffs.
Who's left,
The
by
Lord's
the way?
game.
Stars,
Edmonton and Dallas.
Edmonton, and then it's
Florida.
Panthers and
It's
Hurricanes.
Hurricanes.
Right? Yes. Look at me. I know it.
Florida is going to win that series in 6. And the Dallas Stars are going to win in 7 because the Dallas Stars and Pete DeBoer do not lose Game 7.
That's right. They don't. So, but if it goes to a Game 7, the Stars win.
Yes, correct.
I actually think the Stars are going to go to the Stanley Cup Finals, and I'm not.
And
a
they're
going to
lose in the Stanley Cup final. And I'll take it one step further. They're going to lose in the Stanley Cup final in Game 7.
Oh, really?
He's going to win 10 straight. They're
And
going to
then
win
lose.
games, and then he's going to lose Stanley Cup. You think
That's a bold prediction
You
right
think
there.
God's going to let him win 11 straight? Well, if he does win 11 straight, it's the debt. He sold his soul. He's going
I
straight.
think he's already
He's
sold
going
it.
straight to hell. That guy.
I think he already sold
straight
himself.
to hell with that guy.
Okay.
And I got nothing against Pete DeBoer, but he's got something going on.
Wait, so originally, what did you say? Panthers and Edmonton rematch or no? Or you say Panthers and...
Oh, yeah, you know what? I got to stick with that then.
Is that
so
what you
Dallas,
said? I can't
no,
remember.
I said rematch. So we're going to go Panthers, Edmonton rematch, and Edmonton beats Dallas in Game 7. They'll blow it. No one wins 10 Game 7s in a row.
Well, I'm going to use the initial part as a short, but then now you can go back on your prediction.
Okay, all right.
But you still are maintaining that Florida wins it.
Yeah, of course.
I have a big finish at the end where we do like the quick topics.
Mm-hmm.
And in that part, I talk about Scottie Scheffler and John Rahm. So I'll let you touch on that in that segment. That way we don't have a specific segment for that since we're trying to finish under an hour anyway. So
Okay.
we'll do that. But Scottie Scheffler did win the
Yep.
PGA this
Yep.
weekend, his third major, first non-Masters major. So good for Scottie. He's a good dude, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I
Good
told
for
you, and people will may kill me for this, but if you look at the stats, I mean, ball striking wise from tee to green, what that guy does is like Tiger Woods-esque.
It's unbelievable.
He just can't fucking putt.
Yeah.
And the fact that he can't putt and still wins majors by like 5 shot, like I think it was round 3 that I was watching, and he missed. I believe I saw him miss a 4-footer, a 7-footer, and like a 5-footer, and like a 5-hole span, and still was winning by however many shots at the end of.
in the third round, I remember he was actually behind. Bryson took the lead.
Mhm.
And then Bryson went full R-word and hit it in the water, doubled, and bogeyed the last hole. So he had a terrible finish. And then we look up and Scottie's like 11 under because he went eagle, birdie, par, birdie, birdie to finish. And 16, 17, 18 are like ridiculously hard. And he finished it 2 under. And it was basically over at that point.
Yep.
Although it did get a little bit close with John Rahm there at the end of the last day on Sunday. But I want to talk real quick NFL. Last kind of main topic here, and we won't spend a ton of time on it, but as I pull this back up because I changed this, I want to go through just some of the big free agents here. I pulled it up on ESPN for us to look at and just go through kind of, the best free agents left and maybe where they might go because we still have a little bit of time here till the season starts. We'll start up top with some receivers. Keenan Allen is a free agent right now. Is he a sought-after guy still? Is he good enough to make an impact on a team? Like, I know we saw him go to the Bears last year. I thought he was going to be much better than he was.
I would say that he's like an okay number 2. He could be like a great 3 receiver in the slot for somebody as an old guy if he could just stay healthy,
I wonder what he would get demand money-wise. Like, I'm curious.
He
how
won't
much.
get what he wants because he's just, at this point, he's older. He's so injury-prone. He still gets open, but with all the injuries that guy has, I don't know how you pay him anything. And he didn't have that good of a season last year anyway. So
No, he's 33, too,
Yeah.
and he's always injured. I mean, what do you think? I'm thinking like what, like 8 million, 10 million? There's no way he's going to get more than that, right?
Yeah, someone might give him like 10 to
1
12
year,
million.
1 year, 10 million.
Yeah, something like that.
I would love the Cowboys to go get him as a number 3 because we lost Brandon Cooks, I believe.
Right.
So it'll be a good little fit there. It has the best fit as the Arizona Cardinals. Any team you think might go after him? Maybe the Jets. They like to get old receivers.
Yeah, they do. And I saw on the list here a teaser coming up. It was Amari Cooper, and they had him going to the Jets. So
yeah. So Amari Cooper is the next one
Right,
on there. So
right.
is that a good fit for him? Is he's I would say he's more sought after than Keenan Allen at this point.
I would say so. Yeah,
He's got a little bit more
slightly,
tread left.
a little bit more juice. Yeah.
Yeah. I think. I mean, that would be another interesting. Obviously, I'm always thinking Cowboys, but that would be an interesting one for him to go back to Dallas at this point.
I could definitely see that happen.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a connection with Dak. That was the best
Right.
kind of stretch of his career. He's not going to get a ton of money wherever he goes. The Buffalo Bills deal was whatever. I mean, it was a good move by the Bills to try to go get somebody, but he wasn't what they thought he was going to be.
Right.
So I don't see him as anything more than a number 2, kind of like Keenan Allen. As I scroll down in here, the big one obviously is Aaron Rodgers. I think the only team left for him is Pittsburgh, right?
They've said, and I've heard things that he is going to Pittsburgh. It's just stuff's being hashed out.
Okay.
Like as far as like I heard him he was talking on McAfee about, hey, I got a lot going on in my life right now. I don't know if he's like engaged or dating someone, but something was going on with her, and then he was saying that another one of his like real good friends is sick or something. It's just like, and then they're trying to hash out details on the contract. And, I think they're trying to, he had already said that, he'll save teams money. He doesn't need money. He's going to, trust me, he'll get paid, but I'm sure they'll try to make it a little bit more back-end incentive based.
Right.
Like a playoff win, because Mike Tomlin doesn't win in the playoffs is worth like $3 million.
By the way, we just hit 3,000 days. We're over 3,000 days since Mike Tomlin's last playoff win.
You double your salary every playoff game you win. That'd be pretty cool. Hey, your base salary is $10 million. If you win 3 games, it's you win. If you win a Super Bowl, you win $50 million or something.
They should do that just for Tomlin, straight up. Like your base salary is only $1 million, but if you win a playoff game, you get $5 million bonus. I think that's a good incentive for him. Maybe he'll turn the clock or turn the tide and actually win a playoff game. The only other real decent wide receiver on this list is Gabe Davis. He was pretty darn good.
Did he just go to Jacksonville for 1 year?
I guess so. That's what it says. It says he's an unrestricted free agent here.
Maybe he had the option, because that doesn't make any. Because he was in Buffalo 2 years ago, like not last year, but the year before.
Correct.
So
did they trade him?
Oh, they must have.
They must have traded him, right?
Yeah, had to have.
Yeah, it says
had to be traded, because that doesn't make any sense otherwise.
Yeah, I don't think he's on a team. It says he was with the Jags, but yeah, free agency. Giants host Gabe Davis dinner and free agency signing update. I could see that.
How much is he going to get? Like $15 million?
I would think more than that, to be honest. No, that's probably maybe 15 to 20. He was a solid number 2 guy.
No, I guess it just depends how many years. Yeah,
right. He got 13 last year. That's what he got.
I bet he'll make. I bet he'll make like 17.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go. But so on the topic of Aaron Rodgers, if he does go anywhere, it's probably going to be Pittsburgh.
Right.
And other than that, he should just retire, to be honest. He's just tainting his legacy at this point. I mean, he's not good anymore since that injury.
He's not worried about legacy. He's on ayahuasca.
Let's see. Let me go to available on running backs. I saw that the top running back available was, I was looking on there. Yeah, J.K. Dobbins is one of the top ones available.
Yeah, he just signed a 1-year deal, I guess, with the Chargers, right?
Oh, he did sign back with the Chargers. I didn't know that.
No. Last year, that contract was just a 1-year deal.
And again, I don't know if he got traded or what the deal was.
Well, he could have, I guess. I don't remember him being traded. I thought maybe he was a free agent and they just signed him. It was like a rental, but I could be completely wrong. Maybe they did trade him for like a 4th or 5th round pick after they got Henry.
The only reason I think it might be a trade is it says his salary was 1.6, and I feel like he wouldn't have signed for that low.
That had to be his rookie
deal. So
yeah, must have got traded for like a 4th or 5th round pick or something.
They have his market value about $4 million. He's not a bad back at all. He's had so many injuries, but he was pretty solid in last year. The Chargers just went out and drafted 2 running backs, so they're not going to re-sign him.
Yeah.
Obviously. Then I'm just looking at down the list here. You got Gus Edwards, who is also on the Chargers, Jeff Wilson, Nick Chubb. Does Nick Chubb have anything left in the tank?
No,
he's done.
I love Nick Chubb. But
I do too, but I mean, you never know.
Big shout out, since we're talking about eligible wide receivers. My niece Mahaley played in the Powder Puff game. And let me tell you, the juniors got absolutely steamrolled. Like, I don't know what it was. I think it was like 34-0. Coach Sawyer's daughter, Kinsley, was dropping dimes all over the field. She could actually sling it. She was throwing it like 35 yards in the air to girls down the field, dude.
What?
Air raid, just absolute dropping dropping dimes. My niece, her team, she wanted to be the quarterback. She screwed up her fingers, so she gutted it out at receiver. She was slot receiver. When I tell you, I think they got 1 first down the whole game, but she had like 9 catches. It was 9 catches for like 17 yards.
Yeah, that's like
she got 2 yards. I go, but she didn't win MVP for the juniors on offense. Me and my brother are like, do you know what that would have done in a PPR league as a team? I mean, please, that was 10 points, double-digit points. I'll have him send over some clips so we get some highlights up there. She's going to absolutely hate us for it, but none of her friends watch the show anyway, so we're going to get her on there.
That's like
Mahaley Merkin, slot receiver.
That's right. We get a highlight tape. That's like Bo Nix going 7 for 15 for -7 yards in the first half.
Yeah. But no, she was getting the catches. She was racking up the fantasy points. And I got to give a shout out too to the kid that was calling it. I don't know if I think he was a senior that was up there doing the play-by-play, was good, and he was funny. Like, whatever. I'm working the crowd. He's like, you got any shout outs? Bring them up here for $5. And there was a line of people, and he was like, guys, I'm just kidding. And he's like, I'll give them out for free. And he's like giving shout outs. He's like, Mahaley, your sisters love you, and he's like giving different little shout outs. He did a good job.
You never do anything for free in this life.
No,
all right,
never.
You charge the $5.
That's right.
Actually, real quick, before we move on to the big finish, we actually have a call-in on the line here.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Jerry Jones on the phone line here. So
oh, boy.
We're going to go to the phone. Jerry has something to say. We were just talking free agency. So, Jerry, go ahead. I want to hear what's going on in Dallas right now. How's it going? What's the deal? I know you guys just signed George Pickens, so give us an update.
Well, I needed to make a couple of moves in the offseason to make us better because Dak started to suck giant ball sack last season. He had one good year and made us all believe that he was an MVP quarterback, so I gave him $60 million like an idiot. That one was on Jerry Jr., though. We had to lock him up in the cage for a little bit. We washed his mouth out with some soap bars. I made my wife, Eugenia, do it because I was with some hookers that night. But, I wanted a wide receiver because we all know the little bitch CD can throw a big tantrum on the sideline, and I'm real hands-on, if you know what I mean. So Eugenia and Jerry said, Jerry Jr. told me we can't do that in this day and age, so we put some feelers out, and I asked around, and George called me up and said, Jerry, do whatever you need to do. All right, so George came in, I put the gloves on, and I examined him from head to toe, and he had some great measurements, if you know what I mean. Big hands, big feet, and a giant cock, and, you can't beat that trio right there. That's an all-pro wide receiver, so we offered a 7th, and I wanted to offer a 2 firsts, but Jerry Jr. said, you're off your rocker a little bit, and we can get George for a 7th and a team golf cart. We compromised and offered a 5th, so that's what we gave up. Now, George is a cowboy. All is good in cowboy land, and George doesn't take commands very well from white people, but he's going to have to get used to it in this family because I don't employ anybody of different races. That's the Jones family. Ever seen that movie Free State of Jones? That was us. So anyway, I got more moves coming, so I'll call y'all back next week. So y'all take care. Shout out to the Slobberknocker Sports Podcast.
Thank you, Jerry. Thanks for that call in.
Thanks, Jerry.
That was a good call in there. So George Pickens is a cowboy. We forgot to mention that last week. So nice move there from Jerry. And he didn't do it for too much.
Wheeling and dealing. Yeah, no,
you're
not kidding. Usually Jerry was, like he said on the phone there, trying to give a first-round pick away, maybe 2. Yeah. And you got George Pickens for a 3rd, and they got, a Wingo for like a 4th. Is that right? I was like, yeah. They're moving in the right direction.
He's becoming the shrewd businessman of old.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And maybe the Yellowstone appearance kind of shook him back the right direction. But anyway, thanks to Jerry for calling in. We'll talk back with Jerry next week. I think he's going to be a staple of the show going forward. So we'll see. All right. Big finish. Let's go through this quickly. I'm going to rattle off some topics. We did this a couple weeks ago. I'm going to try and do it
all right, let's
going
see how
forward.
We can do.
So I'm going to give you something, and then you tell me. We'll try to keep this under 2.5 minutes, maybe 3. All right, here we go. Congrats to Scottie Scheffler winning the PGA Championship by a runaway 5 strokes at Quail Hollow to win his 3rd major this weekend. Will Scottie win another major this year?
I was just about to say yes, he will. At least, it's hard to win even when you're Scottie Scheffler. I'll say he'll win 1 more, could potentially win 2. But there's only 2 left, so I'm going to say just 1.
Best shot of the 2. Which one?
The U.S. Open.
U.S. Open.
Yeah.
He's better. He's going to be better suited to win that one.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. John Rahm in the same tournament, the PGA Championship, collapsed the final 5 holes. He was 1 stroke off the lead with 5 or 6 holes to play.
Yep.
He ended up finishing tied for 8th. He hit it in the water twice on the final 5 holes. How devastating is that finish for Rahm?
It's pretty devastating for him in the sense that obviously he got his game where he wanted it to be on Saturday, but it was not surprising to me at all because his game is still not there. I would have told you that, people that were like, oh, he's going to, I didn't think there was any shot in hell he was going to hold on to win or, be in that position because his golf swing has just not held up for that many rounds. It's kind of like Jordan Spieth. You'll see him have 1 good round of golf, but he can't string 4 of them together, right? So that's kind of the deal with Rahm. He'll get it back. He's too good not to. He'll win a couple more majors at least at some point once this live merger, and that's just ruined his. He's got plenty of fucking money now, but it's ruined his golfing career so far.
Yeah, and he's mad that he left. I think.
Yeah.
How many has he won? 2 or 1? I know he won
John
the Masters.
Rahm has won. I think just 1. I think it's just a Masters, or maybe he won a PGA. I can't remember. It's 1 or 2. 1 or 2.
He actually finished. I'm looking right now. He won the U.S. Open in 2021
Okay, so
as well. So he's got 2. But he actually, I was actually wrong. He was within 1 stroke of the lead going into 16, and he went bogey, double bogey to finish.
Right.
Finished 2 over on the round. Okay, moving on. Nick Sirianni gets a contract extension with the Eagles for multiple years. Good move, bad move by Philadelphia.
I would call it a standard move. You win the Super Bowl, you always get extended. That's just what they do. I don't agree with it. It's just what they do. Coaches feel like the teams have to do that for them. Like, it's one of those deals where it's like, hey, this is basically a bonus that if we do decide to fire you in 3 years, you're still going to make money, right? And you want to keep them happy. I get both sides of it, but yeah, it just seems like that's, that's always the play there.
More than likely, is this like a Doug Peterson deal? Like, do you think the Eagles are going to win another Super Bowl?
Yes, because they're just loaded. So, I mean, with Doug Peterson, dude, like, remember that team was like the 6th seed, right? They just went on like a Cinderella run. They were a good team.
Yeah, Nick Foles is their quarterback.
Yeah, Big Dick Nick.
Big
Shout
Nick.
out. Speaking of Big Dicks, after we heard from Jerry, he would have loved Big Dick Nick on his team.
Yeah, he would have. Happy trails to Derek Carr, who retired from the NFL this week after a myriad of injuries. Carr will be best remembered for what over the course of his career? I would say being better than his brother, David.
I would just say being average. I know that's nothing. He was just a very average quarterback. He didn't when him and Devontae Adams were together, they had some good years. He was just, that arm was constantly, it seems like, always hurt. So
he was never an all-pro.
He
made 4 Pro Bowls, which is not saying much.
Right.
Pro Bowls are so easy to make nowadays because so many people turn them down.
Yeah.
But he did have
better quarterback than his brother.
Yeah, he did have that one season where he had like the best season of his career, and then I think it was either the first round of the playoffs or the last week of the regular season. He got a severe knee injury, and he didn't get to play in their playoff game or whatever.
His brother was on some. I mean, listen, Carr was. Derek was not on great teams either, but David Carr's team. I mean, those Texans teams were so fucking bad. Yeah. So I mean, that's apples to oranges, really.
This one's a quick one because we already talked about it. But Dave Portnoy was courtside at the Sky Fever game this weekend, seen wearing a full Caitlin Clark uniform. He placed a $25,000 bet on CC to record a triple-double, which he did, making Dave $350,000. Did he sell his soul to the devil?
Probably.
We love Dave on this show, but it's probably true.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it. But he's on record saying he would do that for for a decent amount of money.
Sell his soul to the devil?
Yeah, he said something along those lines.
He would say
one
that
day
too.
he's like, "Oh yeah, I mean, for that, I'd probably do it," or something like that. Yeah.
he's a nut. Okay, we have last one here. Antonio Brown was detained outside of a boxing event at Aiden Ross's house or event, wherever that was.
Yep.
After gunshots were fired,
right.
A video was shown of him holding a pistol, a black pistol, pursuing somebody. Question number 1, should we care about this at all? Question number 2, how many years does AB have left to live, in your opinion?
Nah, probably under 10. We should care because, yes, he's like the greatest. I mean, he is Mr. X. I mean, all he does is all day troll people, say crazy shit. I mean, I think America needs him, you know, much more now than as a football player. So hopefully he doesn't do too much jail time. Apparently someone tried to steal his chain, so he pulled the gun out.
He said he was not arrested. He went home and he was not charged with anything. So maybe he's not going to jail. I haven't looked any further
because the
into
event
it.
was probably in Florida. So if someone snatches your chain, you can just start shooting.
Is that actually true?
Yeah. I mean, it's
You
like
just-
Texas. If someone comes up and assaults you, or I think you can just shoot them.
Should we?
I mean, don't
Bailey,
take
can
that.
we
Don't
check
take that. Don't take that to the bank. But I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
We're not a legal show. Although if you
Yes.
are in legal trouble,
Call
call
Jeff
for
Davis.
Jeff Davis 444-4444. He's here for
Golly,
you.
when is that sponsorship coming? You better get Nick on the horn, okay?
I mentioned it to him the other day, but I've just been slacking. I got to get on this. Okay.
No shit.
Well, look, I got a lot on my plate here.
Yeah, I know
okay?
you do.
But you are right. I've been saying it for a while and I've not done it.
Oh no, it's okay.
Anyway, no, you're dead right. Okay.
Just
that's
give me a lunch with him. I'll make things right.
It's actually probably true. You're a pretty good salesman. I don't do a good job of that. Anyway, that's all we got for today. Short show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Good WNBA or not. Congrats to Turner on going 4 out of 5 there. Thanks again to Jerry Jones for joining us on the show today. And I guess we'll catch you guys next week. We'll go over the Western Conference and Eastern Conference Finals as we head kind of towards the NBA Championship. The NHL Stanley Cup Finals will be coming up soon. And so we got all that and more. WNBA is back in full form, so we'll be for sure breaking that down next week. I know you're looking forward to that. We'll see if Turner can repeat or three-peat on WNBA or not. We got to start monitoring wins and losses for you so we can see
win.
your longest streak. That's not
Please.
true. Dude, you're about 70%. You're
Yeah,
batting about
that's
700.
about right.
But shout out to Smithson Valley baseball team in the regional finals here, going and their softball teams in the state semifinals. So they're both still going here in high school baseball. I have no
It's been
idea.
a hell of a year for Smith. Actually, probably looking at it after winning the state football championship, would caught everybody off guard. This has got to be their best year athletics ever. For
100%.
Sure.
I mean, if you remove basketball from the page, they're like
Well,
one
yeah,
of the best.
no one thinks about that up there. I know you coached them, but
Well, we were okay when I was there, but remove it now, and they might be the best in Texas, like in
Right.
terms of results this year. But
yeah.
anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys have a good week, and we will catch you guys next week.